Hello everyone, welcome back to another video and my Jade Bonsai or Portulacaria Afra bonsai that you can see right here. Because in today's video I want to talk a bit about jade plants and using jade plants for bonsai, simply because it is, in my opinion, the easiest entry point for people when looking into bonsai, especially of course indoor bonsai, because they are very hardy. They are very forgiving, they are very easy to work on, so definitely I think it is worth making a video concerning jade plants because simply, in my opinion, a very fitting variety for bonsai trees. So let's get right into it with already the first specimen that we can see right here, which, as I said, is a Portulacaria Afra. So there's two different forms of what's often called jade plants that are used for bonsai. So this one, which is very small leaf, and then there's also the Crassula Ovata, which I will show you at a later point, that can also be used for bonsai or is often used for bonsai. However, here we can see a Portulacaria Afra. As I said, it's rather small leaf. It is often also used for bonsai because unlike many succulents, it does form stem-like branches, and also often the variety you can use for bonsai or that you can see for bonsai has almost this bark-like or cork-like bark that makes it look very old and used, and of course very specifically nice looking for bonsai trees, where we go for, of course, this old gnarly look that can be achieved quite nicely with such a Portulacaria Afra. Also, this variety here, you can see you have the bark flaking off at lower points, which just gives it a very nice old look, even though the tree itself might not even be that old yet. When it comes to taking care of it, it is a succulent, so the most important thing, of course, is how you water it. And I would always say less is more when it comes to jade plants. I really, with this one, wait until I can really see the leaves starting to wrinkle up. Then I know I can safely water. Then, of course, I water it completely, let the water flow through. And then probably for another 2 to 3 weeks, I don't have to water it again. Because it has very thick leaves, it stores water quite well in them. So the higher risk actually is that you overwater. Underwatering is very difficult to achieve with jade plants, simply because it shows you quite visible when the leaves start to get wrinkly that now really has come the time where you really need to water. But before that, you can go really a couple of weeks without watering, especially in cold season. Of course, in growth season, you might want to water a bit more regularly, a bit more often. When it comes to pruning back, it's also quite nice and quite easy. When we see, for example, shoots where we have multiple leaf pairs, we can always go back to 2 or 3 leaf pairs, just take something out like this, and normally it will also then shoot out 2 branches from where you took it back, basically. Regarding pests, what can happen is in cold season that you will see spider mites, of course. If that would be the case, simply go in with either pesticide, or what I use normally is just water mixed with dishwashing liquid and spray the plant with it. It normally takes care of all the pests that might appear. You might also get a scale on the leaves, as it is, as I said, very thick leaves that store a lot of water. Of course, scale does like them because they can feed off of them quite nicely. However, this one actually, pest-wise, I didn't have any problems until now. Maybe spider mites at one point in fall, but other than that, quite hardy trees, which again makes them so nice for beginners. Maybe already enough talked about how to take care of them. Maybe one more thing to mention is, of course, keep it in bright light. They're succulents, so if you live in temperate climate, of course, in growth season, you can also take them outside, keep them outside. In winter, when it gets colder, of course, you do need to take them back inside. They do not stand freezing temperatures. So then, of course, you have to keep it indoors over winter. But of course, come summer or come growth season again, there's no problem in, again, keeping it outside. It will actually benefit the tree quite a lot because, of course, it gets more sunlight there and it will be a healthier tree altogether. But let's move on from this tree actually to another specimen. I told you here we had a Portulacaria Afra that I'm going to move out of the way real fast. And we're going to move on to Crassula Ovata that you can see down here. Let me also adjust the camera real fast. So a Crassula Ovata, in this case actually a cutting I took from a bigger plant I have. Simply I chose this one to show you today because I wanted to give you an idea how easy it is to take cuttings from jade plants, because as succulents it is simply quite easy of taking really a big branch, taking a cutting of it, then I would always suggest leaving it for 1 day before potting it up to have the cut callus over. And then simply put it in a pot with some soil, water quite regularly, actually, probably more than you would normally. However, I would say every couple of days I did it with this one. And sooner or later you will see new growth. So I never had a propagation die on me actually from these ones, for the reason of not developing roots. So they really develop roots quite easily. And of course, cuttings is always a nice way of having a little project which sooner or later can turn into a bonsai. This one, of course, at a very early stage. What I'm trying to achieve now is already by taking it always back, first of all, already working on potential taper in the future, and also improving ramification, because as I said, they do spread out into branches from a cutting point quite nicely, normally those jade plants. So that is also something I have to do now again after this cutting has settled quite nicely in this pot. So basically when I potted it up, I think it was rather here, and over the last growth season it has then grown quite considerably. So it's time to take it back again, as I said, work already what on the taper, though not too much, we will see, because now of course end of growth season. Just looking at it from all different sides right now. Do not take out the lower leaves yet, because normally with maturing they fall off by themselves anyway. So we'll keep them on at the moment still. And looking where is a good point to cut. Maybe here, leaving one leaf pair. Here also at this point. And the longer branch, you can see there is no ramification or anything going on, so I would also actually considerably take this one back. And as I mentioned, you could easily take this one, just get rid of some lower leaves like this, let it callus over for a day, and then simply put it in a pot with soil, water it regularly, and it will take root. Like I promise you, it will take root. It's very easy to propagate those jade plants. As you can see here, we have it very compact again, but of course this is a project that will take over certain years, I would say, to really form into a promising bonsai. But I do like those long-term projects, so always nice just with a couple of cuts every couple of months to keep working on it. And I thought I'd show you that today in a video where I talk about jade plants anyway. If you have any questions about jade plants, of course, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will get to answer them as soon as I see them. If you enjoyed this video, of course, I would appreciate if you leave a like. And if you enjoy this channel in general, of course, also feel free to subscribe to it. And hopefully then I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.